Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow are launching the MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better, the MyPillow 2.0. It has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, and now with the brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread. The MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0. It has a buy one, get one free offer with promo code WDAY. Just go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow around. Enter promo code WDAY or call 800-875-0644 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday, June 7th, 107 right now, 83 degrees outside. And can we say it's windy? Breezy? It's not, but can we say windy? Because this is the most wind we've had in like 10 days.
It's a little breezy.
We got south winds at 12, gusting to 20 right now.
Which is amazing, because for how many days did we have that it wouldn't stop? And then there was a break and everybody went, what is that?
Did the earth stop spinning? Why isn't it windy?
Right.
Oh, we're just stuck in that hot, humid, stagnant air. And we still are today. Dew points are at 68 degrees, so that's pretty sticky outside.
It's muggy.
We got some wind to move it around. We're okay.
Yeah.
I can see the grass is bending over out by the interstate. We're golden, right?
I'm just curious,
if you like the
guys.
Hey,
is it going to stop being hot and humid?
I mean, categorize hot.
For everybody.
What would you define as hot? What's the threshold?
Haven't we had a lot of days over 85, like 14 of them or something?
That's 90.
But what if so we've been having a lot of like days near 90 with humidity, like dew points in the mid 60s. Would you consider it to be hot if it was 90 but the dew point was like 35?
No.
Humidity was like 12%?
Not at all.
I don't know if I'd consider it hot either.
No. That's a dry
I
heat.
would.
That's
dry
heat.
That's
a dry
Zona.
heat.
That's Zona terminology right there. Are you from Zona?
No, but I spend a lot of time
Do you
there.
aspire to move there?
Are you coming with?
Maybe at some point. I've been there a handful of times.
No, absolutely not. Then absolutely not.
Oh, well, we'll just give myself the big old, I'll probably turn that on first. It's still not working. We'll get it pulled up. I was gonna use the Red X, but I don't have the sounder pulled up, so we'll do that here in a minute. But
okay.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. I was there 2 years ago out in Arizona. Yeah. It was beautiful up in Cave Creek, Peoria, and Sedona. And then we went up towards, I think it's Williams, Arizona, up in northern Arizona by the Grand Canyon.
Beautiful area up there. Yeah, it's they don't get heat like this. They don't get the humidity like this.
What about monsoon season? What are the dew points pop up? Do they get into the 60s?
They get in the 50s to low 60s. So then you're creeping up there, and then it's a little on the humid side.
So they really don't.
This is humid outside.
They don't experience the corn sweat. And yes, that's a real thing, corn sweat.
It is, yeah.
Bridgette, do you know what corn? I'm sure you know what corn sweat is.
Well,
that's when the corn's playing around too hard and they start sweating, having too much fun outside in the heat.
Right, when the little cobs are busy running around in the yard.
Exactly.
If we're talking the same language, you're talking about corn respiring, and that drives up your humidity. I think that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're there.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
we're
got
there.
it.
And so, yesterday, Bridget, boy, Clay County took it on the chin, 1 to 2 inches. Glendon picked up just under 2 inches. I talked to Parker this morning. I'm like, how much did you get? He's like, only 1,800s. He goes, but it's better than nothing.
I didn't get anything
Right.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing.
And actually, didn't Steve, one of our weather spotters, who's got one of our rain gauges, he sent us like 1.7 inches in that
Right.
neighborhood of Glendon, if I'm not mistaken. So there's quite a bit. Yes.
Yeah, so, but that just goes to show you how these storms are hit and miss. I mean, one part of your city or town might get inch and a half, other part, not much at all. So,
Okay. And that'll continue for a bit yet, but it's getting better. It's going to be a nice weekend. Go for that.
It is going to be a nice weekend. I'm over here. You're laughing. It's a photo that came across of Dean playing on the beach.
In his very loud,
it was very
Hawaiian
loud
shirt.
and shorts.
Hawaiian gear.
Good job, Matt.
When did you do
Okay.
this?
If you,
Photoshop.
By the way,
I don't know
fool.
about that. If you're watching on the live stream, you can see the photo now. Man, Dean, you are having a fun time over there, buddy. Was that this summer?
No, it's just the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't wait till that shows up on our Facebook page, because people who are listening are like,
perfect.
I can't see
Why,
it.
why is
We're
this
gonna
guy
post it.
laughing so hard?
It's,
Right.
that looks like a fun time.
You
From
were
what
there, you
I
should
remember,
know.
it was.
That's why you should always be watching on YouTube or Facebook Live. You never know what kind of shenanigans are going on in the background, and occasionally we get
That's
some
right.
fun photos of ourselves that get shared around. So you can
More
always
than
watch us live from
occasionally.
1 to 2 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, Acres TV, or you can simply just join us right here on the radio at 93.1 FM, 970 AM, or WDAY radionow.com. How's that for a plug?
That's awesome.
That was a good
job.
one. You see
Keep
that
your job for another day.
That just clicked in my head right there. Just see, we have our sounders back. There we go. We're good to
Nice.
go.
Okay. Good. I'm glad that's all working in there.
Whew. All right. Diaphragm hurts now. We got some fun egg topics that we'll be talking about later on in the show. Today is Wednesday. We're going to be talking about resources for farmers to investigate field damage. And there's a cultivating conference in Fargo.
Well, it's
Going
called
on.
Cultivate, and that's a conference that's put on. This is a busy week, by the way, for Ag and Fargo. And Cultivate is put on by Emerging Prairie Grand Farms, and that is held tomorrow. That'll be downtown at the Fargo Theater. That is really looking forward into what's going to happen innovation-wise. You're going to hear speakers like, we've had a guest from AgVisor Pro. Those are one of the people that are going to be on the panels tomorrow. There's also going to be some farmer panels and workshops. So if you have a chance, maybe you're caught up in your spring, and I say that hearty har, right, for a lot of farmers. But if you have an opportunity and you can get to Cultivate downtown tomorrow, that'd be a great opportunity for you. Today is the Buddy Seat Conference that Bushel is putting on, and that's why Quentin Keneally joined us in studio yesterday. He is one of their panelists today for their event. And Tuesday was the day that the Midwest Ag Summit happened. And it's also North Dakota's FFA convention in Fargo. Lots of things happening this week in the area.
Busy, I'll tell you what. We said that was what was that Tuesday little thing you guys called it? The
Midwest Ag Summit?
No, the TT thing. You guys were doing this
Oh.
on
Tillage Tuesday.
Tillage Tuesday.
Tillage Tuesday.
All right.
Hashtag Tillage Tuesday.
You got a fun one
It was
for
a great day.
Wednesdays?
Well, it depends. Some days wind up being more like windy Wednesdays because we can't ever seem to have a low amount of wind to get some of our spraying done.
Yeah, not today. Last couple days were all right, but they're just all those spotty rumbles
Absolutely.
of thunder. And I was too busy laughing earlier. Did we do the forecast already? You were having
is it
too much.
Friday yet?
You were having too much of a fun time yesterday, and I had to get my laughs in now, so I totally missed it.
Yeah, scattered storms after about 3-4 o'clock favoring the valley westward. There's another batch of rain coming out of northwestern Minnesota with a little upper level wave that'll dive due south into areas of central Minnesota. So that could affect Lakes area later on today. So just a chance of scattered showers and storms after about 3-4 o'clock. Some of those could be strong west of the valley, and then tonight we'll drop off into the mid-60s after topping out in the upper 80s to near 90 today, and then More of the same tomorrow, and Friday an isolated storm or two, and then beautiful weekend. A lot of sunshine and temperatures only around 80, lower humidity, and morning lows in the low 50s. So very pleasant, good camping weather.
Nice.
Very good camping weather.
Mow your yard kind of weather?
That too. Anything outdoors is going to be a gorgeous weekend.
Yeah, and we got Randy Nelson on Friday with us, right, Bridgette? Clay County
We
Extension
do.
Educator for Lawn and Garden Radio. You'll be able to figure out what you should and shouldn't do for the house, the garden,
I've
the
already
yard.
got, I'm running a short list of questions for him that people have been sending and asking about. So we certainly want to make sure that we get those covered. So folks tune in we're going to touch on things like poison ivy. We're not actually going to touch the poison ivy, but we're going to touch on the topic of the poison ivy.
I think this would be more interested if we start poking around. Dean's got a fun poison ivy story.
I'm afraid to ask
Can
you.
we
With,
say it on
I'm
air?
sure we can't.
Oh, of course you
then
could.
we can't. No.
You can. It's not that bad.
I don't remember any poison ivy story.
You got a fun one when you were out camping.
It's time to go to break. We've got a guest coming up too, don't we, Bridgette?
We do. Things are a little off the rails today. Maybe Scott Krogstad can help us. Scott is a sugar beet and other grower. He's got corn, soybeans, etc. He's up in the Hatton, North Dakota area, so Western Trail County. And Scott was kind enough to join us today. We want to talk about sugar beets, how they look, what's production looking like. Where's his rainfall at? Because he's in an area that can feast or famine on it depending on the year. So we're going to do that when we come back. We'll have Scott Krogstad from Hatton joining us next.
You can always count on Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Always crisp, always easy drinking, always just right. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment since 1903. Welcome to the High Life. 2019 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Celebrate responsibly.
Hey, it's Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. Join me, Justin Storm, and Ag Director Bridgette Readel throughout the summer as we attempt to grow a crop of soybeans. We're calling it Here We Grow, and we'll be documenting what it takes to farm in the Red River Valley and beyond. Look for new videos every Friday on WDAYRadioNow.com, our YouTube channel, and social media pages. Here We Grow is brought to you in part by Ellingson Drainage, Gowan Company, and WDAY Radio.
Come to life with Caldera Spas and the hot tub stores of North Dakota. Discover a new way to hot tub with a daily ritual of a hot tub circuit therapy. Experience the comfort, design, and performance that only Caldera Spas can deliver. Welcome to wellness with a special offer, 0% financing. That's right, 0% financing. Come to life with Caldera Spas and the hot tub stores, 815 23rd Avenue East, located by Costco in West Fargo.
Maximize your corn and soybean crops with Affiance fungicide. This highly systemic fungicide delivers unbeatable protection against disease like northern corn leaf blight, frog-eyed leaf spot, and more. Penetrating the plant's tissue, Affiance provides total plant protection, including new growth. For corn and soybean growers who want quality disease protection and maximize yields, the choice is Affiance fungicide. Ask your local ag retailer about Affiance fungicide today. Always read and follow label directions from Gowan, USA.
Dad, can we play golf for Father's Day?
Buddy, that may be the best thing you've ever said to me.
Great! We need to go to Osted's first.
For what?
A new driver, some shoes, golf balls, and a rangefinder.
Lucky you, Osted's has everything needed to make this Father's Day special.
I hope they sell a short game, cause you're going to need it to beat me.
Thomas, you sound like Papa Dave. Osted's is your Father's Day headquarters. We can even help with his short game.
It's the National Association of Royalty Owners North Dakota Convention at the Radisson Hotel in Bismarck, Wednesday, June 14th and Thursday, June 15th, with a social hour to follow Wednesday. Speakers include Justin Krinstad, Director of North Dakota Pipeline Authority, Lynn Helms from the North Dakota Department of Mineral Resources, and Preston Page from Dakota Energy. For registration for members and non-members and for event agenda, go to naro-us.org. It's the annual Royalty Owners Convention, June 14th and 15th.
Let the Goose River Bank become your community bank. They believe a strong bank builds strong communities and would be proud to be your bank.
And welcome to WDAY, Weather and Ag in Focus. And boy, I think on my iced tea, I just completely slurred WDAY. Sorry about that, guys.
We said, wow, she's been hitting the bottle a little early today.
Did she just slur that?
She did. Apparently, talking is not one of my better skills. So
I say we just go back to looking
one.
at the photos.
Oh, man. Okay, so just to get this straight, I'm Bridgette Readel. I'm the Ag Director. I am with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. Raise your hand for those at home. Then we've got Justin Storm, Meteorologist Extraordinaire. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And a great big thank you to one of our Here We Grow sponsors, and that would be Dakota Bank. Justin and I had a chance to go to do our video with Chad from Dakota Bank last week, and we had a great time. They are a fairly new bank in the area. They're the largest independent bank for ag loans, headquartered in the Dakotas. They are originally out of Aberdeen, and they now have a facility here in Fargo. So if you're interested, stop by and visit with them. Dakota Bank will do you right. Now, let's get on to our guest as well, and that is Scott Krogstad. Scott is in Hatton, North Dakota. He was kind enough to join us to talk all things sugar beets, etc. So, hey, Scott, how are you today?
Hey, pretty good, Bridgette. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing
Doing
well.
good.
Doing well. So, okay.
Bridgette's slurring already. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Huh?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
1 o'clock is 5 o'clock somewhere, like you said.
Nobody asked Scott how he knows me. We're not talking.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring any of
We're
that
going
up.
to get some college stories.
So,
I think you got me
Scott.
beat in that department.
Oh, might be.
Oh, that's going to be a good
But
show.
I gotta ask. So, what are you doing today in Hatton? Have you been spraying? Is all the crop in the ground? Give us kind of the overall farm look right now.
Yeah, just finished spraying some of our earlier planted wheat and going to clean out and move on to some corn. We got another sprayer spraying the beets. With the good and warm weather and some moisture we've been getting, the weeds are growing just as fast as the crop. So we got to get out there and take care of the weeds. It's move from one thing to the next. Cleaned out the planters one day and you're spraying the next. So we're busy, but it's good. We've had good weather and been able to keep things rolling.
Good.
How's your moisture situation? Do you feel like you've gotten rainfall when you need it?
Yeah, it's been a little erratic. I mean, with these, as everyone's seen, it rains in one section and nothing in the next. But for the most part, most of our ground's gotten some much needed moisture recently and sitting in pretty good shape. Obviously, some places could use a little more, but I would say overall we got to be pretty happy. The crop's growing fast and we're off to a good start.
And how does this compare to last year, Scott, in terms of this same time last year? Are things looking better, about the same, a little, how does it look? How does it compare?
Well, in our area, it's heads and tails better. Last year, we might have been done planting wheat by now. I think we were still planting just about everything this time last year, and then didn't plant a few fields that just didn't come around until the end of June, and we replanted stuff last year on June 20th, 22nd, somewhere in that time frame, and we're sitting much better. It felt like it was a late spring, right, with all the snow that just seemed to not want to disappear, but once it did, things shaped up nicely, and we got the crop in a hurry, and the weather cooperated. And, yeah, like I said, things look pretty good.
And so, Scott, you have sugar beets, and how long have you been raising beets? But how long have sugar beets been on your farm?
Correct. Yeah, we started growing sugar beets in 1996. I was a junior in high school that year, I believe, and things. At that time, the crop prices there wasn't anything guy was making money on, and the opportunity was there to jump into beets at that point. American Crystal was expanding, and my dad and his brothers took that leap, and it was a good decision, and we've been growing beets ever since.
Okay.
And I myself came back to the farm in 2010 and started growing myself anyway. So yeah, it's a focal point of our farm. It's helped pay a lot of bills
Right. And from 1996 to today, what have been some of the bigger changes on your operation? What's helped you out more getting things done around the farm since then to now?
Yeah, the biggest thing in sugar beets was the onset of Roundup Ready technology, which was around in the corn and beans earlier, but we didn't get it in beets until 2007, I believe. And then, transitioned pretty quickly within the next year or two after that. We're 100% Roundup pretty quick, and that was probably number one, because the spraying, it was an every week deal for up to 5 weeks or 5 sprays, and then along with insects, and then the diseases after that. So you were making 8 trips across your beet field just with the sprayer alone, and then cultivating on top of that. And the chemicals were expensive, and they didn't work that good. You had to do everything just perfect in order to get good weed control, and then you do all of that, and then you still maybe send out some hand labor to take care of what you missed with the cultivators and the sprays. So yeah, it's way different. So we rely much more on our sprayers. We don't use cultivators anymore, so that's a big change. And then the hand labor obviously isn't something we use anymore. But that could change. Things are always changing on the farm. Maybe we'll be going back to that at some point here. But as of right now, we can still take care of things with sprayers.
So Scott, when you made a really great point there about the things that we used to do before we went to Roundup Ready sugar beets, when we were still doing it conventional. And I just want to make sure to highlight that, because I'm not sure if everybody listening understands. Previously, when we were doing conventional chemistries, like you said, you had to spray what we called micro rates weekly for several weeks. And the injury rate to your sugar beets was higher. So your production could go down, because there was always the chance that if you accidentally overdid something, you would reduce your yield. And now you're using less herbicides by going to a Roundup Ready system. Would that be fair?
Correct. Yep. And a lot less fuel and labor, and it's much more efficient. And if you want to call it green, we're much greener, if you want to use that term, now than we were back then, because the amount of fuel you were burning, and it was intense.
So you use the sprayer for weed control and other purposes with the sugar beets. And what about your other crops that you're protecting? We've talked about a lot of different methods of crop protection, whether it's from spraying or flamethrowers or tasers. And yesterday we just introduced lasers into weed control. Are you using any of those kind of third options for weed control on your other crops? Because some of those, of course, aren't Roundup Ready.
Yeah, we haven't yet, but some of that technology was around. When we started growing beets, we used a lightning weeder a couple times. Back then it was for milkweed and Canada thistle that the chemicals didn't take care of. And now if they're getting used,
right,
the resistant weeds. But yeah, there's stuff coming.
So you've used the taser before. What's that like, zapping weeds with it?
Well, if you want entertainment, you do it at night, and then maybe you could charge admission to watch the light show.
Sign us up, Scott. That would be great.
I never ran one myself, but I've seen them operate, and I was
can imagine
pretty young back
like
then when we did use one. And
taking some jumper cables and just zapping weeds with a car battery.
Yeah, it takes I can't remember the voltage. Yep, the voltage that those things put out, but it's a sight to see. Yep.
I bet it is.
No, those are awesome. Yeah. Okay, and when you said resistant weeds, Scott, what weeds are you fighting primarily as a problem within sugar beets?
Well, the first one that came around on our farm was, and now we're talking, I don't know, it's probably been 5-6 years at least, was common ragweed. So we were throwing other products in there to take care of that, and now the predominant one is water hemp. And kochia maybe taking the forefront in a lot of places. and we're seeing, we have all three, not at high levels, but they're out there, and some places it's worse than others. So yeah, there's more coming, and then the newest one that is getting more and more talk is the advent of Palmer amaranth, and that's kind of the big elephant in the room that we want to keep at bay if at all possible. That's water hemp on steroids is a term that I've heard, so I don't want to witness that.
That's a good description. Absolutely. So we want to continue asking some more questions of you, Scott. It is the bottom of the hour at 1:30 in the afternoon. We are going to continue on. Scott Krogstad has joined us from his farm in Hatton, North Dakota. We're talking a lot about sugar beets. And I think some of the questions that folks who are listening and might be new to the area are going to be curious about, Scott, we're going to ask you about what stage are your beets in right now? What does the rest of your summer look like until you get a chance to take them to harvest, et cetera? Just kind of give us the life history on those sugar beets, and we'll get a chance to do that. And again, be rejoined by Scott in just a few moments. Stay with us.
It's a family summer bash, Wednesday, June 14th at Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo. The events start at 5 with dinner served by our youth featuring pulled pork sandwiches and all the sides. We'll worship at 6 with our Celebrate Band, followed by a kids' color run, service projects, lawn games, and a concert by the band Island Time. If you've never been to Olivet Lutheran Church and are looking for a church home, this is a great way to learn about us. Bring your family and friends for our summer bash, Wednesday, June 14th at Olivet Lutheran Church on the corner of 13th Avenue and South University Drive, Fargo.
People with chronic lower back pain have often tried lots of different things, and most of those things just don't work, and they're searching things that do work. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a type of treatment done with a specialized machine that has very high success rates, and we're lucky to be one of the few clinics in the entire state that has it.
Every step I took caused severe pain. I really can't pinpoint when it started. I'd been under chiropractic care before and knew that was the route I wanted to go, so I started searching and looking for someone different to take care of me. I had seen a sign in the neighborhood not too far from where I live that said the clinic, and it talked about sports care and family care. So I went online and checked out the biographicals. When I saw the one for Dr. Zimmerman, I was impressed with his work history and the fact that he too had suffered from a low back injury. And the next appointment, I can walk without pain. I mean, I feel like I want to dance all the time, and I again can play and walk with my German Shepherd puppy.
So whether it's chronic lower back pain, sciatica, knee injuries from running, neck pain, headaches, or shoulder problems, the clinic can help.
Do you love working on cars but don't love your current job? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We're a family-owned full-service auto repair shop looking to hire skilled automotive technicians. With our state-of-the-art shops, great work environment with competitive pay and benefits, you'll enjoy a great job with a bigger purpose and a lot of opportunity for advancement. Visit FixItForwardAutoCare.com to apply. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care. What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:35 on this Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures outside near 83 degrees, wind gusting to 20 miles an hour out of the south. Again, we're rejoining our conversation with Scott Krogstad from Hatton, North Dakota. He's a sugar beet farmer, and if you want to join on the conversation, feel free to reach out to us. Give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. That's 701-293-9000, or you can always reach us via email at weatherorag@flagfamily.com. And Scott, I wanted to ask you, in your years of being in agriculture and farming and sugar beets, is there anything that concerns you into the future about agriculture as a whole, and also anything particular to your farm and your business, such as maybe emerging weed threats or anything like that?
There's a couple things that come to mind. Labor is the biggest one. North Dakota isn't a heavily populated state, and farm work is at times hard work and longer hours and not a set schedule. When it's time to go, you got to go, and it's hard to find enough people to do that. And you hear that talking to farmers. Doesn't matter what kind of crops they farm, what part of the state they're from, is finding good help, good workers. So a lot of people are using if you're familiar with the H2A and H2B programs, not only us as growers, but the companies that process our products are utilizing those tools just to find labor from other countries. So that comes front to mind, and then the other one is chemicals. Our EPA continues to find products that they want to basically get rid of. Some of our tools in the toolbox, and my argument has been that, hey, if you're taking tools out of our toolbox, we're going to use more of other products that aren't as effective, and it doesn't help the environment. In my opinion, when you take away tools from the toolbox, we're going to do other things that, you solve one problem and create another, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I see.
So, absolutely.
Yeah, those are the two biggest things I can think of that get talked about in ag circles over and over and over.
Right. And what are you?
As of right now, it's not going away, I don't think.
And what are your thoughts on the whole movement or push or throwing the blame or shade onto agriculture for being responsible for so much the pollution, the greenhouse gases, the emissions of everything? What do you have to say to that?
You want to open that can, huh? Yeah, I think I don't know. I'd use the argument that just us as humans breathing. Well, are we supposed to stop breathing? I mean, we're committing greenhouse gases and talking about cows and cow farts, and to me it's a non-discussion point. We all need to eat, so we got to produce it, and we're pretty efficient the way we're doing things now, and we're trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. Is that?
Well,
there just isn't.
Like you were just saying, we all got to eat. We need the food. It's got to get done somehow. And of everywhere across the world, we're probably among the top that do it the safest and cleanest way possible.
And affordable. A lot of the things they're talking about doing are just increasing our costs, and it's moving food production from one part of the world to another, and the greenhouse gases are reduced here but increased there, and you're not. I don't think we're solving a lot of problems by doing some of the things we're doing. It doesn't make sense. If you listen to Doug Burgum earlier today, I don't know if you guys were listening to him, but so much of what he said, just everything he said made total sense, and what's going on in Washington doesn't. And so, but that's another subject, right? Let's not get into politics.
Exactly.
Okay, Scott, I want to know, what do your sugar beets look like right now? What stage are they at? Have they had their first application of herbicide on them? How do they look so far? Justin and I are always fascinated by the fact that when they're really little, they're like tiny helicopters and just blow themselves out of the ground in wind. So where are they right now?
Yeah, they're looking real good. Most of them are probably in that 4-leaf stage. There's some a little bit smaller, some a little bit further ahead. But stands overall, from what I understand, across the country or across the valley are looking pretty good, and I don't think there's been disasters anywhere that I know of. And same with our farm. We're right in the middle. There was a lot of our beets were planted at the same time as pretty similar in size, where other years we got some that are planted really early and they're way ahead of the other ones. But this year they're all pretty similar in size.
That's good. You don't got to worry about any replanting spots or anything. I know we had the pretty gusty winds a couple weeks ago where we had about 3 days of 15 to 30, gusting to 40 miles an hour. Was your crop above ground at that point, or did it do any damage to you?
No, a lot of ours weren't even out of the ground yet.
That's good.
So it wasn't really an issue, and I didn't hear of any blowing out. We had plenty of moisture, so we got some lumps and cover. Most guys are putting cover crops on, and if you leave enough straw on top, then it holds pretty good. But last year was never seen anything like that. Planted late, and then stuff we planted late blew out and replanted some of those, and we'd never replanted beets because of wind blowing them out before. It was the first time in 25 years.
So I want to ask you something. If
very unique last year.
If that was the first year that you had to replant the beets, what did that do to the end of the year harvest? Was the quality there? Were they light? What did it have really any big impact on you needing to replant those after already getting in late, or were things able to recover nicely with the, I'll say it tongue-in-cheek, timely rains that we had last year?
Yeah, well, we say it. Seems like every year we say every year is different, and last year was no exception. those late planted beets, it was like, what's the point of replanting? What are they? Are we even going to get them into the truck? They're going to be that small. How are we going to lift them being planted that late? But you really didn't have any other choice, and so we went ahead and did it. And they were smaller. It was the tonnage wasn't what you want, but for being planted that late, to get them to actually get them in the truck and have something harvestable. And then the other unique thing was that the sugar on them was crazy high. Normally you would expect low tons, low sugar, just whatever you get from that situation. But yeah, we had some really high sugars on some of those late planted fields, which I think it had a lot to do with the drier fall. They just put on a lot of sugar in those last months. We had just the right weather to do it, and so it didn't end up being a disaster. They weren't great, but
yeah, I've heard a lot of similar things for as dry and as hot as it was last year, and with the late plant and so much discouragement from what yields were going to look like, that it's kind of gone down as an anomaly for how well everything did last year, because a lot of people said that they had records or almost record yield for something that showed all the signs of being a bad year.
Yep, I would agree. You heard lots of stories of very, very good yields considering how late things were, and the things that Mother Nature threw at the crop last year, didn't matter where you were, to get what we got was awesome.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear.
Hey, Scott, when it comes to that crop, and do you feel like you're on track for as far as your growing season, right? No big hurdles in front of us right now. Can you give us just a quick rundown? When do you guys think you might start doing, say, pre-pile, opening up your fields, getting into full-blown harvest, just so we have a little bit of a timeline that we can follow along with for the rest of the season?
Yeah, American Crystal, at least that's what we grow for. We'll make those decisions at some point here once they get a better idea on the size of the crop. The last how many years, for the most part, we're doing some pre-pile in that August 18th range, 15th, 18th. So I would guess that it would be in that ballpark again this year. And obviously main harvest will be October 1st. So I can't imagine things being any different this year.
Okay, that's going to be excellent. And as you talk through the sugar beet crop, Scott, I got one other thing for you. What's a little known fact when you talk to people that you're a sugar beet producer? What are they most surprised by? That they're like, are sugar beets? Or what else might there be?
Well, yeah, when you talk to people that aren't from this area, they don't. Most people have never seen. Doesn't matter if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or one of the southern states, they do not know what a sugar beet looks like, or someone would say they thought all sugar came from sugar cane. So, yeah, I think that's probably one of the most unique things. It's not there's only 1 million acres of sugar beets in the entire United States compared to, corn and beans and that 90 million mark. So most people have a cornfield not too far from them, no matter where they're at. Sugar beets are pretty secluded as far as where they're growing. I mean, obviously they're a big crop around here, but the rest of the country just doesn't see them. So it's unique. It's a learning experience for a lot of people.
Sounds like the learning experience I had a few weeks ago, and we had our farmer out of was it Kentucky, who's growing popcorn. I'm like, oh, so it really does grow on a plant. I had no idea.
It does. And that was Will Beer. He was from Missouri raising popcorn.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
There was an email for us, Scott. Here someone said, isn't DOT using beet juice for melting ice on the roads? My answer to that is yes, that is being done. As an American Crystal sugar producer, do they talk about that with you guys with meetings? Is that's one of your potential outlet markets, or do you have any background information on some of those things?
Yeah, I guess I don't know a lot about it other than you're right. They're using that for melting ice or snow, and to what level and how often and where. I guess I don't know. It's an effective product, and it must be cost effective. Otherwise, they wouldn't use it.
Right.
And there's there's other byproducts of sugar beets that we learn about ourselves as growers in meetings throughout the winter. Different things they're looking at. So molasses obviously is one that anybody that doesn't eat baking with sweets maybe knows what molasses is, but don't know where it comes from, and a lot of it comes from sugar beets.
So Scott, for those who might want to maybe ask more questions, whether it's for yourself, for American Crystal, any suggestions where they could go to find more information on sugar beets?
Yeah, the American Crystal Sugar website would be one. The Red River Valley Sugar Beet Growers Association website would be another. And I can't remember the exact URL for those, but if you Google it,
Don't worry,
find it,
I've got them. Yeah, I've got them. Someone can email me, ag@flagfamily, and I'll help them out with that too. So that'll be no problem.
There's the American Sugar Beet Growers Association website has some stuff. The Sugar Association. There's quite a few sources for dietary guidelines. That's the Sugar Association.
That's awesome. So thank you for joining us, Scott Krogstad. We so appreciate you being a part of our day-to-day as we talk here on Weather and Ag. We have the American Ag Network coming up with our markets, so stick with us and we'll follow up with weather after that.
At Wimmer's Diamonds, we make every possible effort to find you something special. As the best jeweler in the Red River Valley, our diamond experts can help you find exactly what you're looking for. Natural or lab-grown diamonds. You choose the size, the shape, the cut, and you choose the engagement ring style. Classic or trendy, ornate or simple. At Wimmer's, we would love to help you leave no stone unturned when finding the perfect engagement ring. Visit Wimmer's Diamonds at 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
As the sun sets on a warm summer evening, the family gathers around their brand new outdoor kitchen. The smell of sizzling steak and grilled vegetables fills the air. With its sleek design and top-of-the-line appliances, their outdoor kitchen from Valley Landscaping becomes a centerpiece of their backyard oasis. From weekend barbecues to intimate dinners with friends, this is the perfect space to create memories and savor the flavors of the season. Discover your own outdoor kitchen today at valleylandscaping.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Mixed activity, spread action in corn and beans at midday Wednesday. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this market update. We're talking now with Arlen Suderman of Stone X. Arlen, feels like this wheat market doing wheat things, trading moderately lower, while corn and soybeans seeing a bit of spread action, it appears, here today. What's your take on the grains and oilseeds midweek?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of strength yesterday on reports of the dam that had failed in Ukraine, whether that was due to a bomb or whether it was due to natural causes is yet to be determined. Of course, both sides are blaming it on one another, but it flooded a lot of farmland, and it takes water away from about 1,000 miles of irrigation canals, so that affects a lot of crops. But now the market's really realizing that one reason that the damage is so bad is because the water levels in that reservoir were so high because they've been having so much rain in the area. So you don't need a lot of irrigation when the water levels are high because you're having a lot of rain. It's not that big a percent of the currently active farm ground overall for Ukraine. So the market now starting to go back to pricing in the fact that Russia's dumping a lot of cheap wheat onto the world market. You look at corn, soybeans are seeing a little bit of spreading in there ahead of USDA's Friday crop report. A little bit more fear that we're going to see USDA cut exports for corn, raising ending stocks for corn, and maybe leaving ending stocks tight for soybeans. So when you have uncertainty going into a crop report, sometimes spreading is the way to kind of manage that risk exposure. But regardless, the new crop contracts in both are weaker, reflecting these wetter forecasts over the next 7 days, expecting many of the areas that have been dry to get some rains.
And again, that's Arlen Suderman of Stone X over in livestock and consolidation day, trading slightly lower across cattle and hog futures. That's markets on the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 152 on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up here in just a moment, but I figure we'd give you a little update on our Here We Grow project. For those that haven't heard us talking about it before, we're all growing 20 acres of soybeans for the first time, and we don't really know exactly what we're doing, so we're getting help from a lot of different people, and we're documenting.
That's an understatement. Well, Bridgette does.
We're documenting the whole process and releasing weekly episodes on Friday about our journey from renting land to getting equipment, putting the seed in the ground, and eventually all the way to harvest. And when we get our record-setting 65 bushel beans, we're going to be donating all of our profits to the food bank. So that's going to be a fun little thing. And our last episode came out last Friday. We're working with Dakota Bank, learning on the whole process of taking out money to buy equipment and the whole process behind it. And Dean over here was gracious enough to ride along with us and co-sign, and company threw a little down payment money down, and we got ourselves some nice equipment there. And our next episode, Bridgette, if you want to talk about what that one's going to be, they'll be coming out this Friday on our YouTube channel on Weather and Ag in Focus.
It will. It's going to pop up on Friday, just like our beans popped right up and out of the ground. And Dean and I went out to AB Seeds in Glendon, Minnesota. They have a product called Invita. It is a nitrogen fixer for soybeans as well as other crops. We got a chance to walk through their seed plant. Dean, we almost put him in the tumbler for putting seed treatment on, but it would have been like being in the dryer as a little kid, so we decided not to. But it was a good time. And
it would have been good content. It would have been.
We're going to keep doing videos like that for everyone. And just a shout out to all of those sponsors who've been so great. Another one of them is North Dakota Estate Services. They are really helping make a complicated process a lot easier when it comes to passing on that farm to future generations and how you might want to do it. Don't wait till the last minute. Make sure you talk to them early on and have a great transition plan in front of you. You can reach them at ndestateservices.com.
Right, and here's a little tease of our last episode that came out last Friday with Dakota Bank. I'll just play it here for you real quick.
Bridgette, what are you doing over here?
Shopping.
Shopping for what?
Tractors.
Oh, wow, look at that.
I got money. Down payment. All we got to do is go talk to Chad at Dakota Bank.
Oh, great. I got Dean in the trunk. He's going to co-sign.
Trunk?
Back seat.
Okay. Well, let's go take care of this.
Sounds good.
Yep. So we walked out of there with some brand new toys. Looking forward to taking them out of the box. And
good thing I co-signed for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
by the
new
way,
combine is
thanks.
awesome.
Yeah,
You voluntarily signed too, right? Can you just say that over the radio real quick, please? That you did sign them yourself.
From what I was a little delirious from being locked in the trunk and a lack of oxygen, but I believe that's what I was signing.
Definitely
think so.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. By the way, I really appreciate it more
It'll
than
be
you would
fine.
even guess.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Why don't we run down that forecast real quick? Find out what we're going to be dealing with over the next couple of days, because I pretty sure we got a chance for a little bit of
thunder.
Oh,
yeah, thunder.
A little bit. Yeah, in fact, areas around Glendon, in fact, most of Clay County really picked up quite a bit yesterday. And those same kind of similar storms are going to be popping up today, it looks like, from the valley westward. And some of those could be on the strong side. Main threat, heavy rainfall, really, because our upper level winds not moving these things along too quickly. So they kind of set up camp over one area and just kind of rain themselves out. And locally heavy rain, gusty winds as we head after about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon. But again, greatest threat is going to be areas just west of the valley. And there's another system moving in from northern Minnesota. In fact, the area's up around Roseau, Warren, in the 60s right now under cloud cover and some light showers. That'll be spreading due southward and affecting areas out around DL, Otter Tail area by late today, while we're experiencing just pop-up storms here. And more of the same for tomorrow, hit and miss. Like Parker out in Glendon, he only got, 1800s, while areas not even a mile or so away picking up 1 to 2 inches. So
really localized, because a couple days ago, my station had almost an inch of rain, but the end-on station for Grand Forks, which is just a few miles down the road, had 0.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's how these storms kind of operate. This is not a very typical pattern at all, not for here. This is something you typically see in the southeast United States, where you get these afternoon storms to build up. But, this is a little unusual for our area. And we're going to see a pattern change starting this weekend. Nice cool Canadian air mass moves in with highs only around 80, morning lows in the low 50s. And then next week, we start to kind of get a more progressive pattern. And what that is it allows these systems to move from west to east at a slightly more rapid pace. And that will give much needed rain to areas of western Canada. That's good news for the fires up there. And it also gives us a chance for more, instead of these pop-up storms, more of a widespread kind of blanket of rain, if you will, from time to time as these systems traverse the northern tier and central tier of the U.S. In fact, somebody just emailed me on about a forecast for Father's Day in our area, and we're going to be, from right now, it looks like, again, these systems move quickly. We warm up ahead of them, cool down behind them, so we won't get these steady 90-degree temperature days. And Father's Day weekend kind of looks sandwiched in between a storm system possible Friday and a storm system possible Monday. And it's, if that's a day off or so, then it's a wet weekend. But that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with, is more storm systems coming through over the next couple of weeks. So not a bad thing, because then we'll get general, more widespread rain throughout parts of the area. So that's good news, not this hit and miss stuff.
That's good. I'm ready for a change.
That's very cool.
But I do like little popcorn storms. I really do just love watching them go up and quick
it's fun watching them. It's fun watching them. Yep.
Disappear.
Yeah.
Get hit with the outflow.
It's the meteorologist in you.
I'm such a nerd.
He's a weather geek.
He is.
Just gonna send it.
We're going to be sending it over to the Jay Thomas Show. We're almost out of time, buddy.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, want to thank you for joining us. Jay Thomas Show coming up next.
AM 970 and FM 93.1, WDAY, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.